Bonjour les étudiants de Picard. Votre professeur, M. Baudouin, m'a demandé de vous donner une petite présentation sur le Raspberry Pi, ou alors une des applications pour le Raspberry Pi. Alors, à cause des mots techniques dans cette présentation, je dois le faire le reste de la présentation en anglais. Alors, on y va. So here you are. We have the Raspberry Pi here. I think you guys have seen it. I think Mr. Baudouin said that he had, or Jerry said that he has a couple, and you guys have gotten to play with it. So it's a 700 megahertz processor with 256 megabytes of RAM. I'm using HDMI, but it's got some analog. I think that's the coax and headphone jack that you can use to hook up to a non-HD TV if you choose. So yeah, right now you can see it doesn't have a case. It's just kind of sitting on its anti-static protection there. I would like to get a case for it at some point. I'm looking at a case that has a Visa connector layout. It's basically the screws on the back of your TV for mounting to a stand. You can actually get a case for the Raspberry Pi that basically has those mount points. You can just basically attach it to the back of your TV and move it with your TV, which would be totally cool in my book. So let's boot this baby up. Let me just put this down for a moment, and we'll get it going. Okay, so here we go. So I am running, hold on a second, a specialized version of Linux called OpenELEC, which is an acronym of sorts, Open Embedded Linux Entertainment Center. It's basically a stripped down version of Linux. Sorry, I'm just having some... There we go. Good stuff. Okay, so it's as I was saying, OpenELEC. So it's basically a stripped down version of Linux that runs the bare necessities to get Xbox Media Center running. Obviously, it's not an Xbox, but it started off on the Xbox and has branched out to run on pretty much any platform. Yeah, let's take a closer look at it. As well, yeah. So due to you don't have many connections on the Raspberry Pi. You can use a USB keyboard. But I chose to go the route of the Android remote. So basically, I can control pretty much any aspect of this. Get into menus. If I choose, I can either navigate through the file system on the Xbox or straight through this. Like if I go to TV shows, for example, I have a list of my TV shows, and I can start playing that way as well as the movies. I don't have any music set up right now. So it's totally handy. It runs basically through Wi-Fi. If you chose to set up your router and set up port forwarding, you could theoretically control this from anywhere there's an internet connection. I don't know why you would do that, but it's kind of cool. On here, a lot of this stuff is dynamic. As you can see, I have TV shows. At the top is a list of recently added TV shows. Now my downloading software basically downloads what I choose to watch, and it sends an update command to Xbox Media Center, which updates the information you're seeing there, as well as the movies. So this is dynamic, like I said. So as soon as I sit down and turn on my TV, basically the newest stuff that's been downloaded shows up, which is a really, really cool deal, and I don't have to remember what it is I was downloading. So the Raspberry Pi will decode both 720 and 1080p HD content. My TV unfortunately is only a 720p, so I don't usually download 1080p content, but for this presentation I actually downloaded a version of the Inventor, so I'm just going to start that up so you can see it working. It does take a few seconds, but once it starts up, so now to navigate, you have a choice. You can either use this, which is basically takes you forward 10 seconds.
He is ready to lead.
All personnel, the evacuation order has been confirmed. Proceed to your designated vehicles.
Now you will get a little bit of that artifacting going on when you do fast forward, because of it's just for a few seconds. Now I'm just going to go into now playing, and we can basically, we have a slider here that I can go all the way up, and I'll go to the end where there's a little more action going on. You can see some more of the so again, that artifacting I was talking about, that disappears pretty quickly. So as you can see, it runs totally smooth, lots of action going on. There's no skips, no jumps. It does once in a while, it has buffered on me, but I think it's due to network traffic. So yeah, so that is coming from right here on my computer. This is external hard drive that's connected through the laptop over Wi-Fi, and that goes to the Raspberry Pi, which is wired. I was using this initially. I got this, which is an awesome little wireless N adapter that worked out of the box with the Raspberry Pi. Unfortunately, I think it's just too small to run. It's after looking at it, it's not really rated for video, so it just didn't have the throughput. So I was getting way too much. It was basically unwatchable. But I think with a better adapter, I could go wireless. But really, I don't mind having it wired. You know, if you're going to run an HTPC, it's probably a good idea to keep it wired. Just to keep things running smooth. So yeah, one more thing I want to show you too is also there's lots of software you can get to interface with your Xbox Media Center. This, for example, is a little web interface called Maraschino, and it shows me like information here. For example, like movies that I'm waiting on, or that I want, that I'm waiting to download, as well as shows. There's my wife's stuff on here as well. I'm not really a Grey's Anatomy fan, but there's a bunch of shows here, and this is basically showing me, you can't really see it in the video, but shows me the day and time that it's coming on. And then again, same deal here with recently added videos and episodes. It's dynamic again. It uploads or updates itself every couple minutes, and again, this can be set to be accessed if I set up my my port forwarding properly. It runs in Python, actually, I should mention, which is pretty cool. It low overhead, and it runs in the background, and I can set it up to access. I can set it up to be able to access this from the internet if I just set up port forwarding on my router. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and all this comes in, you know, this tiny little credit card sized computer that runs off of a phone charger I think it's a 1 amp phone charger. I think it requires at a minimum 700 milliamps. At full bore, this thing draws 3.5 watts. So that's like, you know, that's nothing. It's like a fifth of what like a CFL light bulb draws. That's tiny. You can basically, I don't plan on turning this off. I'm leaving it. I'm going to just leave it running all the time, and I just have to turn on my TV, and it's ready to rock. You didn't get a chance to see it. It boots in about 30 seconds. But, you know, really, considering the power draw, I have no issues leaving this on all the time. So, yeah, there you have it. Xbox Media Center running on the Raspberry Pi. I highly recommended. Been very happy with it. So, good luck and happy hacking, guys.